Hey there, YouTube. Thanks for joining me today. I did a video a couple of months back on flexibility and mobility. I think go check if you want to watch that one, go back a couple of months. But basically just wanted to do a little update on it today. And I don't want to be like that preacher that starts doing something or gets a new habit and then is telling everybody, oh, you got to do it. But I think in this case, this is something that everybody of every age could benefit from. And if you're getting older, well, ideally you would start this when you're not so old. But if you're older, I would definitely try to find a safe way to incorporate this into your life. And once again, just throwing the disclaimer out there, you need to know your own body, you need to know your own limits. So be careful with any stretching or any kind of exercise that you take up if you're not used to doing it. But having practiced yoga quite a bit like 10 years ago and a few other pastimes in my past, I tell you what, I was telling a friend the other day, at 61 the body does not come back like it used to. 10 years ago, after practicing daily, stretching daily, doing yoga daily for 2 months, I definitely would be a lot more limber, a lot more flexible, but hey, that is just the reality of aging. You know, we do the best that we can, and that's why I do a lot of this stuff, so that I still am able to do things, as I go on. Now, I'll drop a link. I've mentioned a lot, I use ChatGPT for everything. And when I first started, I kind of started out because I think I was having what was a little bit of light aggravation of my sciatic nerve. So I started wanting to loosen up the hips and work that area. Anyhow, what I was going to say is I will drop the link to my ChatGPT notes right in the description below, and you can see the exact exercises that I do. And if you may not be familiar with these. I was familiar with all of them having practiced yoga, but just for a quick demonstration, go search YouTube or go search Google. But yeah, I've been doing these for about 2 months now, and I added some searches. I added some stretches along the way. The initial routine only is about 7 or 10 minutes a night. I tend to stretch a little bit longer. And something I should mention too is you might want to, if you're not familiar with stretching, yoga, whatever, you might want to do a little bit of a search and kind of understand a little bit about synchronizing your breath, using your breath when you're doing stretches. But haven't had, after about 2 weeks, wasn't having any issues with my sciatic nerve. My hips, my lower back, everything feels a lot better. That's the whole way I measure it. Like I say, my flexibility is a lot slower coming back, but I'm just measuring the success by how I feel when I get out of bed first thing in the morning, and I don't need all this warming up, and it's not like I'm kind of stumbling around the first few hours of the day. And in addition to the stretching, I try to spend time, after I'm stretching, and a couple or 3 times a day, I'm trying to spend more time just sitting on the floor. Just sitting like this, cross-legged, playing with the cat, just doing whatever. And like I say, I do this a lot. I've noticed that, my hips have definitely loosened up a bit. So, no matter where you're starting from, if you will just, like I say, devote 10 minutes or so every day, you will feel a whole lot better. And this is something that I think that you will start feeling results from very soon. Once again, if you're not familiar, if you've never done any stretching or yoga, just do it, make sure you do it safely. If you could, get somebody to show you how to do the particular stretches. But if not, just, I say, go search, and you can see a proper demonstration of how to do it. Now, one thing that I do in that little stretching routine that I do several times through the day, and this has helped with hip mobility a lot, hip and ankle, but also too, it gives a nice little stretch in the back, and that's the Asian squat. And this is I'm not going to move the camera around, but this is with the heels flat down on the floor. Some people won't be able to do this to start off with, You might have to put something under your heels, but I've just kind of slowly been doing more and more and more. I did have a little bit of a setback because I don't know, about 2 weeks ago, I overdid them a little bit, and I kind of got distracted. Like sometimes I'll do this, and sometimes I'll go 4 or 5 minutes at a time, and I'll get to doing something on my phone just to, to occupy the time, and I realized I went a little too long. So I'd kind of had a little bit of a strain in the groin, so I eased back, and that was okay. But I found this is really good, and now I'm starting to kind of try to slowly start adding some movement from this position, like like just different stretches. But anyhow, the whole moral of the story is I'm definitely not the one to teach you how to stretch, how to do whatever. I just want to emphasize that you really, especially if you're staying active. And that's kind of apropos right now because my roommate has been laid up with, he hurt his back last Saturday. He was riding. He's a cyclist. He does a lot more cardio type stuff. He swims, he cycles. He's been cycling for years. And I've told him, I can tell by how he moves, he's stiff. And I said, dude, you really need to start doing some stretching. Well, he screwed up his back last week, and I think he's getting close to being able to get back to being active. But you got to do that, or there's going to be injuries. There's going to be probably worse injuries. He didn't have a bad injury, but it's just going to make life so much better. That's what causes falls as we age too, is lack of flexibility in our body. So get bendy a little bit. And like I say, whether you want to start with some of the exercise, I did like the specific exercises that I'm dropping below are ones that, like I say, that were specific because I was having some hip issues and I was having the sciatic. So anyhow, hope you might find this helpful. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, be sure and come back for some more content, and I'll see you here again real soon. Peace.